Fentanyl overdoses across the nation continues to rise.
Yeah, experts tell us the highly potent synthetic opioid is making its way into more and more illicit drugs.
The DEA is calling this the single deadliest drug threat our country has ever encountered. It's linked to nearly 70% of overdoses here in the U.S. and the #1 killer for young adults. More 18 to 45-year-olds died from fentanyl overdoses last year compared with COVID-19, gun violence, and car crashes.
All this week, ABC 15 is looking at the impact of fentanyl on our community. And tonight, we start by exploring how the fentanyl epidemic began and what the data shows us now and what needs to be done to treat this growing crisis.
It's really broad and deep, and it's all over the place.
The first wave of the opioid epidemic began in the 1990s.
But the root causes of that goes back to, use of prescription opioids and, overuse and overprescription of those.
And in the early 2010s, heroin made up a second wave with nearly 143,000 fatal overdoses in 20 years nationwide. But around 2013, fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, began to take hold in northern states, creating what researchers call the third wave of the decades-long opioid epidemic.
So fentanyl kind of entered the market as a contaminant of heroin first.
The synthetic opioid has crept into the illegal drug market, taking hold in Arizona.
We saw huge increases probably around 2019, and especially during COVID.
The Arizona Department of Health Services released an Arizona opioid report in 2016, and data compiled over the years shows fentanyl overdoses rising while heroin overdoses declined. But exposure to fentanyl continues to grow as the drug takes on new forms.
In Arizona, they resemble prescription drugs, right? These fentanyl pills that counterfeit drugs that are, kind of made to look alike OxyContin tablets that people were very familiar with before.
And while this epidemic is far from over, there is some change.
Also, there are positive changes that are happening, right? There is more focus on harm reduction and more increasing access to services. We need to change policies, that punish people and, treat it as a public health problem.
So tomorrow, ABC 15 is teaming up with Valle del Sol to host the Fight Against Fentanyl phone bank. We will have volunteers here on hand who can walk you through community resources available to you or someone you know if they are struggling with an opioid addiction. We invite you to join us tomorrow afternoon from 4 to 7 right here on ABC 15.